Hello and welcome to Wild Ride with Steve-O. You know, a couple episodes back, I said to the devoted people who listen all the way through that we are pulling the trigger on a Wild Ride Clips channel, and by golly, we did. So check that link in the description if you want to just get a little taste of an episode. You never know. Could kick ass. Also, this guy, you know, I gotta say, man, as much of a fan of Saturday Night Live as I've been over the years, I never met this guy. I don't even know him. Did never think that he would agree to be on the podcast, but not only did he was really candid and open and a lot of fun to talk to, man. Fell in love with this guy. So check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenan Thompson. Yeah,
oh, that's
dude.
gangster. What's up, man?
What's going on?
I want you to meet my co-host, Scott Randolph.
What it do?
Scott, pleasure. What it does.
Also up in the front of the van, we've got Paul Brisky.
What's going on, Kenan? How are you?
I'm good, Paul. How's it going?
It's great, man. It's an honor to talk to you.
Yeah, man.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on this wild-ass ride. Where are you guys broadcasting from?
We are in the Hollywood Hills, which
Nice.
gives me great anxiety, man, because my house is just in a big mountain of Kindle.
Oh, God.
You know,
So
I mean,
where are the fires at right now?
They're all over. They're like in kind of close to Arcadia, Pasadena area.
Oh, God.
You got
that's way
one
too
by
close.
Palmdale, and then the whole valley is just smoky from Washington to Oregon to here.
Yeah, I haven't seen the
Right.
sky in like 5 days.
Crazy. I'm surprised you guys aren't all coughing together.
yeah.
Where are you? Are you in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York now. We're getting ready to go back to the show and shit, so I just took my COVID test, and we're about to get tested every day.
Yeah,
is
Scott's
real.
been tested 9 times.
Yeah, like 8 or 9 times.
Going for a record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got my 6th
Which one?
test.
Which ones are you getting? The deep nasal? or
I've
you
gotten it
doing-
all, dude. I gotten the one where you cough, swab your mouth, your nose, your
Yeah.
butt.
How was this? How was the butt swab?
Pretty good. No, it's good. We just have people on the show, you know, so I would just feel guilty if I gave it to somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
or like if I go
No
on a
doubt.
date, you know, then I'm like, fuck.
Dude, we
Yeah.
just made Steve-O condoms, right? Because we're in the merch game. And
Yeah.
Scott managed to fit his huge cock into for a test run.
Yeah, I had to do
There
R&D
you
for the
go.
product development phase of it.
You got to make sure it fits every man. I tell you.
Yeah. So, dude, let's get into it, man. I can't even believe what an honor it is to have you on here, man. It's
Man, it's the pleasure is all mine, man. I'm a big fan of you guys. You know, we had Johnny on the show years ago, and he was an awesome dude, but I haven't had the chance to meet the rest of you guys. I mean, I feel like I might have bumped into you once, maybe, Steve, but I can't really recall. Either way, I'm a giant fan, so it's a pleasure to be on here, man.
cool, man. Well, shit, yeah. So, were you a child star? Like, how young were you when you did the first show, and that was called All That?
Yes, I was like 15 when I first started on Nickelodeon, so I don't know how much of a star we were, but we were like working kid actors.
I don't know, man.
You
I
were
think-
stars, dude. I was a kid in the 90s. You guys were for sure
That
stars.
a boy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Paulie.
I mean, how many times are people like, welcome to Good Burger? Like, does that get old after a while?
I mean, it's not my line, you know what I'm saying? So I let it fly and let people have their fun with it, you know what I'm saying? But for Kel, I'm sure it's probably starting to get a little bit annoying, maybe. He's been living with it since we were 18. We shot that movie when we were 18. I'm 42 now, you know what I'm saying? So he's been living with it for a while.
Yeah, dude.
It's so crazy to think about your career because you guys were, like 15, 18 doing these. I mean, you were stars to me, but did you like, I don't know, you didn't feel like a star at the time? Did you just feel like, oh, we're just doing kid stuff or?
Well, yeah, at the time it was just, on cable, you know what I'm saying? So it was like whoever had it basically. So it took a while. We thought we were cool. So we went out to like the mall and stood around to see if anybody would recognize us and shit. And like fucking nothing happened. But You know, it
Man.
was like years later or whatever, you know, like once it got into like season 3-ish, I guess people started really knowing about it. But, you know, we started out in Orlando, just, you know, kind of entertaining those Orlando Universal Studios audiences.
Wow. I mean, but that was Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Nickelodeon in the 90s, like, that was huge.
Yeah,
I
I think Kenan's being humble.
Yeah,
I
dude.
think, I think there's a lot of modesty going on here because that was at a time when there wasn't any like internet really,
There's
right?
nothing
I mean, you
else
couldn't watch
besides.
video on the internet.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
Jackass came out, that was only on cable, and shit, Jackass came out, my life went bananas. You know?
Yeah, but that's adult humor. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
different when you're on a kids network. So it was like amongst the kids for a good while in the beginning. But yeah, it blew up like by the time it was like late 90s or whatever. It was, yeah, super popular.
I think that it's impossible to become famous without going through some kind of growing pains because all of a sudden now you can pretty much get away with whatever you want. You know, like I certainly, you know, I think that it was important for me to get the fuck out of Florida where I lived when Jackass came out. Because all of a
Gotcha.
sudden it was like I could get lots of chicks, you know, like I could do like lots of stuff and I remember like I had this one chick I hung out with all the time and I really kind of burned her, you know. It was like, oh dude, I'm doing my thing, you know, and I was like, man, I'm starting to treat people shitty. I got to get the fuck out of here. You know, and
Yeah.
I moved out to LA and then it was a totally different experience in LA where it's like now everybody's, you know, this is where it's all going on and people are just saying, man, like you got a show now but it's gonna get canceled, you better hurry up, man, shit's gonna be over, dude. And
Yeah, everybody's being shitty together. It's all good.
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
It's all good.
And then with all the drugs and the alcohol, were you a kid, were you partying and stuff? Ah, partying, I used to do that quite a bit. But you know what I'm more into these days? Sleeping. And if you're a fan of this podcast, you know I love my bed. And I particularly love the mattress on it because it comes from helixsleep.com. And when you go there, go to helixsleep.com/Stevo. That's HELIX sleep.com/Stevo, where you take a very simple short quiz, just a couple minutes, and they will tell you exactly what's the best mattress for you. And by gosh, do they get it right, because I love getting in this comfortable bed. I always sleep better and feel better when I wake up, and I want the same for you. So by going to helixsleep.com/Stevo, picking out the mattress, they are going to give you up to $200 off of any mattress that you get. And with each mattress order, you're going to get 2 Helix pillows, which are the most comfortable pillows I have ever slept with. So what are you going to do right now? You're going to go to helixsleep.com/Stevo. You're going to pick out a mattress, and you're going to thank me for it. Now, let's party.
Yeah, I mean, I hung out, but I was never like overly exposed to drugs, like hard drugs necessarily. So thank God I got to squeeze past that kind of temptation. But, you know, we had good times. I used to go to the club a lot and hang out and shit, but drinking was never really my thing either. So I never really got too wild with that. I definitely had my, you know, one too many nights or whatever, but, you know, nothing major.
He's like the perfect role model for like a Nickelodeon act, you know?
Right.
I mean, that's great. Like, it never seemed like you always got roles easily, right? I mean, you had TV shows and you did Mighty Ducks 2 and you did like.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. I mean, when I first started out, I was lucky to like go from job to job, and then I left Nickelodeon, and it was a couple years of, you know, hit and miss, or, you know, more sporadic type, you know, a job every 6 months type of situation. And then I got on SNL, and that kind of, you know, bridged that gap basically. So since then I've been, you know, taken seriously, I guess.
For sure. And now you're a staple. You're the longest running SNL cast member ever now.
That's so killer, man.
Bong bong.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
fucking crazy, man.
That is crazy.
They used to talk
Yeah,
about
I mean-
a curse of Saturday Night Live with, like, you know, people getting so out of control. And
Yeah.
you know, we talked to Kevin Nealon a couple weeks ago, and he's now like, is the curse over? Did we beat the curse? Or are people out of control still?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's not necessarily the curse, it's the business, you know, and there's a lot of people around this business that if you're getting hot or whatever, want to like, you know, be taggers, honors or whatever, and contribute to the party in whatever way they know how. Most of the time it's negative, but nowadays the cast is very humble and, you know, kind of like fans of the show. So we're not trying to like make waves as far as, you know, being out of control is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like we are all fans of, you know, Will Ferrell's and the Jimmy Fallons and the Eddie Murphys and all those people, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of take it pretty seriously. Like some people, you know, might do a little bit of partying or whatever, getting out of control, but you know, for the most part, everybody's like pretty focused on making sure that the show continues to, you know, live up to its name. Basically, it's going in fucking season 46. This shit is crazy.
Hell yeah. And you said that you have a COVID test for the new season. So does that mean that the new season is not going to be like virtual on Zoom and shit?
No, we're going back into the studio.
Is there an audience?
We're trying to make a swing at it. We're going back into the studio. I'm not sure about the audience part of it all, but I'm hearing rumors about, you know, maybe like a bubble audience or something, some kind of pre-tested audience or testing on the way in or some shit like that. So that still has to be figured out and, you know, relayed to me, whatever that answer is. But somebody's going to need to start like responding to what we're saying. Otherwise, that's just going to be a cold experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, for God's sakes, man. Like all the late night talk shows doing monologues with no audience is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of cool, though, too.
When you guys write a bit for SNL, like do you write it the week of and then you perform it Saturday? How long until you finalize the bit and then got to remember your lines for it?
I mean, well, we use cue cards, but we're constantly like looking for the better joke all the way up until it's, you know, broadcast, basically until it's live. So, you know, we're constantly rewriting and stuff like that. And we write mainly on Tuesday and table read it on Wednesday and then start rehearsals. So, you know, we have maybe 70 hours basically to get it as tight as possible. Something like that.
70 hours. How's that different than like a 3-camera show on Nickelodeon or something? Is it harder or easier?
It's harder, I would say. It's way more intense, you know, because it's your one shot at it. Like anything that's recorded, you know, you can fucking take your time and either try to get it right or make your peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Like SNL is just like, okay, that's out there. You know what I mean? I fucking fell on my face in that entire sketch, but whatever. Like there's no get backs. So that part of it makes me take it very seriously too.
Yeah.
When people talk about SNL, they talk about like how grueling it is, how much work it is, and it's sort of like, oh my God, I'm so glad I got out of there. But you've been doing it for 15 years. Like, do you have a secret for like your longevity with it that you haven't burnt out yet?
Well, not to correct you, but I'm going into
16.
season 18.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
So that's 18 years.
Shit is crazy. Yes, this is the start of 18, baby.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, excuse me then.
But no, it's all good. I don't know. I mean, I deal with the stress in a different kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like the people that leave the show, they're never as happy when they come back to the show. You know, there's always that I miss it here type of look in their eyes and shit like that. So I started working and shit before I got there. So I know what it's like to go back to just being an actor for hire type shit. And I'm not in a hurry for that.
Man.
Wow.
Do we have Alec Baldwin as Trump? Morgan, is that just the fucking best?
I mean, that dude's it scares me because he gets such uproarious, you know, applause or whatever. I'm like, okay, who exactly are they clapping for? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. But I mean, I hope he does it until there's no reason to do it anymore. He just has, I don't know. I think right now he has, you know, a pretty solid take on it. So it's just been really strong for the show and strong for him too. You know, if he can just stop fighting with people over parking space.
He just had his 5th kid too, right?
Yeah.
The guy's a machine. Shout out to his wife. They're all under like 7, I think. 5 kids under 7. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude. I mean, has Saturday Night Live I mean, I guess it's always been a little bit political, but in recent years, it's been like so political. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's very fair to say. It's been, a giant platform for opinion. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like election years, it's a big deal. That's probably one of the main reasons we're pushing to go back into the studio this year. You know what I mean? Because it's an election year and people go to SNL not necessarily to form opinions, but definitely to kind of fine tune what their opinions are and how it's matching up to, everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I love it, dude. I love all the political shit. And I just wonder, it's sort of a rule of like etiquette, like don't bring up politics or religion. And
The cold open is
it's always
politics and religion.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I mean,
Yeah,
not really
together.
religion as much, but but when you think of that rule as like, sort of, you would imagine that Saturday Night Live is kind of alienating like the whole Trump base. And how does that, do you see that in the ratings? And it's like, oh, fuck it, this is what we're going to do. Like, because if you're a Trump supporter, you can't watch Saturday Night Live, I guess, right? Now, whichever way you happen to lean politically, if you're a fan of the Wild Ride podcast, then I really love this thing I wear on my right wrist. Again, sometimes people say, what are you wearing 2 watches for? Well, one's a smartwatch, and the other one is my Whoop band, which is the most top-notch fitness tracking device out there by a mile. I'll never get a smartwatch that can tell me as much as my Whoop band does. It works with an app and it's a membership service, right? You sign up for the membership, you get the band for free, and you use the app to find out everything that is going on with your body, your sleep, your recovery, your strain, your activities. You track your fitness. Okay, since I got this thing, I've never taken it off once, and I don't ever have to because I carry the charger in my pocket and it slides on right over the band. Boom. Charging all the time, always telling me what's going on. Makes me healthier. And I want it to make you healthier too. So go to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com and use the promo code STEVO. You get 15% off at checkout. Do this for your own health and to support this podcast, but just do it. Get your Whoop band, sign up for the membership, get the deal with the promo code STEVO, and sleep better, recover faster, train smarter. That's right. Okay? So again, 15% off at checkout at whoop.com using the promo code STEVO. You're going to thank me for it. Now,
I mean, you can watch. I feel like we hear more from Trump supporters than anybody. So they're definitely watching regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like show after show after show. It's like, how could you say that? You know what I mean? It's like, well, if you weren't watching, you wouldn't know about it. So, but I mean, as far as like, do we worry about who we're alienating? I don't think so, only because, a lot of people, I guess, are, kind of liberalish, but at the same time, we don't really pick sides when we're writing material. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of just presenting what happened basically this year. It's different from like Seth's show or Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't really do much politics, but Seth is, very straightforward, his opinion and probably a lot of the people's opinions at that show. But, we're more of a melting pot situation. So I think we try to just give equal time. We say we offer equal time to, both sides to come and participate. So,
yeah, I think that, that's exactly right. How much does the audience get divided between television viewership and YouTube viewership? Like,
I think it's pretty significant. They're definitely making sure that we're covered in both places. You know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't significant, I don't think they would go out of their way to make sure that those YouTube clips are up as soon as possible or anything like that. Like that they might be up during the show. You know what I mean? Like as soon as something airs, the clip might be available just immediately, especially if it's making like headlines or whatever. So it's definitely a new age. And Andy Samberg and those guys like brought in a whole different, aspect to the show with the digital shorts and shit like that. So it's one of those, adjustable type things that the show has been able to kind of do.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the industry a lot, and I wonder, like it. New York is 3 hours ahead of LA. So when it airs in New York, I wonder if in LA we can watch the clips on YouTube before it even comes on TV. I don't know.
Right, and that's how it used to be. It's live across the nation now, so that's cool. And you guys get like a rerun at 11:30, so you get 2 shows every night, as opposed to everybody else. But yeah, nowadays when we go live, it's live across everywhere, which is fucking crazy.
Who's been your favorite like SNL legend to do a scene with?
I mean, recently it was Murphy, but before he signed up, it was Sandler because both of those two are like the prodigal sons. You know what I mean? They hadn't been back to host and shit like that, and I'm a big giant fan of both of them. So it was an amazing experience to work with those dudes.
What about the celebrity? Is it host? You host.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like who's been the best?
I mean, the easiest ones are, ex-cast members, of course. You know what I mean? Just because they're just so in the zone with it, and they pretty much do the whole show themselves damn near, you know what I'm saying? So that's always nice. But really, whoever comes to play, Chappelle was fucking dope, you know what I mean? But Tom Hanks is probably one of the, like, famous, like, as far as, like, famous people is concerned, he's probably the king, as far as how cool he is and how funny he can be. Right. And willing to just be silly.
Has
like
Keanu
David S. Pumpkins
Reeves
is the craziest shit ever.
Has Keanu Reeves done it?
I don't know if he did it back in the day, like in the 90s or some shit, but he hasn't done it recently. He should.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, he's the dude. As far as like being known for being a nice guy, like he's the top of the mountain. Him and Tom Hanks, man, for sure.
Are there any celebrity hosts that you're like sort of starstruck by, like, or at this point is it kind of?
They're probably starstruck by you now.
I get starstruck by all of them, because usually if you're hosting the show, you're having a moment. So you run across my TV probably a few times. I watch a lot of TV, so anybody I see sitting in that chair, I'm like, holy shit, man. There they are. Look at that. That's fucking Eddie Murphy. That's Eddie Murphy's stomach. Look at that.
That's great.
So, and apologies for not knowing this, but are you married? Got a girlfriend? Like anything like that?
Oh no worries. I'm married. I've been married 8 years, and going on 9 in a couple of months. And we have 2 daughters, 2 girls, 6 and 2, Georgia and Gianna.
All
Congratulations.
Right. So
Where'd you meet your wife?
Here in New York, hanging out with like mutual friends that aren't friends anymore.
That's pretty cool.
That aren't friends anymore.
Yeah, just the hangout scene. Some people grow up, some people continue to just stay in the club. So once you couple up, you have to switch friends.
Yeah.
Choose sides.
Domesticate.
Yeah, man. I got on that boat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wear.
You got married, right?
I wear a ring as an engagement ring. It's I'm not married yet, but I think that it's fucked up that women get engaged. They should have a ring on to indicate it, but the guy doesn't have to indicate shit. Is that like? Does that mean that it's assumed the guy can just keep fucking everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, is this like some kind of like archaic fucking patriarchal bullshit where like the guy has no obligation?
Probably, but you sound like a stand-up guy, so you would never do that. You put the ring on to represent.
Well, did you wear an engagement? Did you wear a ring before you were married?
Congratulations. Well, she didn't buy me one. So I didn't have we got tattoos together though.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Hey, have you been in touch with Goldberg? I mean, I know you guys were friends.
Sean, I haven't talked to Sean in like 20 years, unfortunately. Like probably 20 plus. Like I haven't seen him since.
That's Kel?
We were like a couple of years ago. No, Goldberg was in
the meth guy.
The meth guy, Jesus.
Poor guy.
I mean, he's a meth guy. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, how crazy was it?
Back. He's making a comeback. He just got feet, so he's looking much better.
He's sober.
Like through mutual friends, I've been able to like reach out, but I haven't talked to him personally.
Yeah, what a heartbreaking story, but it's good. I mean, I think he has like 6 months now, which is kind of cool. And he's got a new set of teeth. He's got
a hell of a before and after photo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. That's like, it should be the biggest warning sign ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should strap that around all these glass pipes that they sell in these tobacco shops.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Crazy.
I mean, has that ever happened to you before? I mean, because I feel like it happens the most extreme to childhood stars, you know, where you don't hear from them again.
Get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't have many, I've had, childhood friends like pass away from various things and stuff like that. But for the most part, everybody's, healthy, whether they stayed, the course of acting or not, everybody, is pretty much doing all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are fucking billionaires. That one kid from the Mighty Ducks that was on the other team, that was like the main actor kid. He's like a billionaire off of Bitcoin or some shit, like cryptocurrency.
Which guy?
Like that. Crazy. He was like the main, like, I guess the enemy.
In the first one or second one?
In the first one, little blonde kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
And I was just my buddy sent me an article on him like yesterday. He was like, he's a fucking like crypto billionaire. And I'm like, that's insane.
Shit.
So, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, there is, dude. The net worth thing. Like, you can look up anybody's net worth. And it's like...
Yeah, I don't know who's making those numbers up exactly.
Have you ever looked up yours, Steve?
Well, dude, this is... I didn't know...
No way.
Dude, I didn't know shit about it, right? And then a buddy of mine tells me... He's like, oh yeah, Tosh Point oh on Comedy Central fucking made a joke about you. He's like talking about celebrity net worth, and he was like, oh, they said, Johnny Knoxville, I forget what it was, like, it said 100 million, or said Bam Margera, like, 50 million, and then Steve-O, 2.5. and at the time, I was like, fuck, how'd they know that? I was so butthurt. But then I go on to realize, like, all this time later, that it was purely by accident that they got it right, I think. Because I don't think anybody else has an accurate number out there.
Yeah, how would they?
No way. There's no way. I looked up mine. My shit is out of control. Only because, like, people started acting different. And then, like, somebody semi-mentioned it, like, sideways or something in conversation. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I looked that shit up. That shit is like fucking, no, there's no way. I'm like, I don't know where all that money is, but it ain't over here. Like, that shit is mad modest. But, when you look back on it, you still got $2.5 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's fucking dope.
Yeah,
That's a lot better than a lot of these people that are so unemployed these days because of our leadership and whatnot. But we're not talking politics. Right. We're not talking politics.
I mean, yeah, dude. I think...
yeah, you're about to do a cold open right now, dude. What's going on?
Well,
Live from New York. It's Saturday night.
There we go. Live from New York. Here we go.
Yeah, was there a learning curve for you when you started making that money where you're like just spending shit and you're like, fuck, I got to put some away for taxes? Or did you have a good team on your side?
Oh, yeah. No, I had a hard lesson early. Like, my first big check, I had a bad accountant that ran away with my shit. So I was, struggling through my fame times, which was a conundrum for a lot of people that would actually see me out in real life and just be like, well, why are you driving like a Toyota when you should be like doing whatever the fuck? And I was like, just give me my McChicken sandwich and let me go. And, but, shit got, I just stayed diligent and keep working and everything is all right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to stay humbled by force. Thank God, actually.
Yeah, it seems like it's a problem because you're really good with on top of paying your taxes, Steve. Like, was there an issue for you?
Dude, I have babysitters, man. I don't fucking do anything. Like, I got my.
But even with me, like, you're so adamant. Like, dude, you gotta fucking pay your tax. Like, and we had Shaq
man,
on.
You don't want to wind up like Wesley Snipes. You don't want that shit, man.
Yeah, the situation.
Like,
yeah,
if they just
definitely
choose to turn their attention on you and your shit is not correct, you don't want that. So
yeah, 100%.
Pay your fucking taxes.
You got it. Like, you just have to take whatever you're making and just think of it as half of that is mine. And it's
half of that actually is yours. Like a quarter.
You make a quarter of what you actually make,
Yeah. I think no matter what, like, no matter how much you make, just be in that mindset.
Yeah.
Half.
I just paid my quarterly taxes today, so it was a good feeling.
That
Yeah.
a boy. That a boy.
Yeah, I've been working
Keep
with
on that
Scott.
shit.
Scott and I've been working together for just about 7 years now. And
Nice.
Yeah, because I was always used to someone taking out my taxes with a paycheck, and then now that I'm responsible for it, shit,
7
but
years later.
7 years later,
Now
Some
that I'm
tedious ass work.
it's
Fuck, right?
and I didn't know, and so like I spoke with Shaq. Shaq had issues in the beginning. He talked about it's like, and it seems to be a common problem where people just don't know when they're starting making bank, and Shaq's like, dude,
Oh, yeah.
my first deal I got 20 million. It's like I fucking went out and spent 20 million.
Right.
And it-
Like, it makes total sense to me if you don't know. It's like, I got 20 million. Like, what is there to talk about? What do you mean I don't have what you said I have? You know what I'm saying? But that's why, schooling is important. And I don't know, financial fucking lessons, I think should be almost mandatory. I think they kind of are for young players now, but,
Yeah.
it should be mandatory for anybody going from 0 to fucking $20 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, what wouldn't you buy? Like, I would fucking buy everything.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
When you started making like killing it with money, like what was the first major purchase that you bought, and you're like, fuck, I don't know if I should, but I'm gonna treat myself.
Cars, always. That's always a car answer.
What'd you
know what
buy?
I'm saying? It's like a Mercedes.
For sure.
Is that in Atlanta or in New York? Because you don't want to fucking drive in New York, do you?
I drive in New York. I love it. I'm coming from Atlanta. That's why. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Right.
used to getting in my car and driving myself around. And I don't know. That public transportation is cool and convenient, but at the same time, like I can just be in my own zone. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
not be bothered or whatever, or be worried about stepping in shit or piss or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I like to drive.
Driving
But,
in New York,
yeah.
I picture 50 Cent, like driving like some crazy car in New York.
For sure, like a G
Or
wagon.
Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan's always Lamborghiniing down the New York streets and shit whenever he has a new deal.
I mean, it's crazy. Like the rent in New York, so expensive, but then even the parking monthly in
It's
New York.
outrageous. It's outrageous. The whole situation. Like, even if you have a monthly spot, wherever you get to, you got to pull into another garage. You know what I mean? So you're just paying out the ass everywhere, unless you're really good at reading the parking signs and finding a street spot, basically. But a lot of the times, yeah, New York makes you pay out the ass. They really do.
So,
Yeah.
are you a New York guy to the end now, or do you have property all over? Are you going to stay in New York for a while?
I mean, no, we live in Tampa as well. So,
Oh, rad.
my family's close, in Atlanta and whatnot. So that's a good spot for us too. So if it was up to me, I would fucking move to Italy or some shit and just be there. But, gotta continue to work,
I think Atlanta's looking pretty good, man.
You like Atlanta?
I think Atlanta's
Atlanta
pretty
looking good.
fucking cool.
But it
man.
gets hot as fuck, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's hot and
It
humid,
definitely
right?
gets hot as turd shit.
There's a Nickelodeon right there.
Yeah, dude.
But like same as Tampa though. Tampa gets super swelty.
So you've done 18 years of SNL. Do you have a number in mind that's like, okay, like 30, I'm definitely stopping. Like
Right. It's 33, but no, it's like, I mean, I feel like at the moment the closest one to me is like 20. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm so close to 20, it'd be nice to get there, but we'll see what happens basically.
It'd be cool to like do it so long that like nobody will ever be able to break your record,
Yeah,
death.
I mean, it's probably there at that moment right now.
Who's
You
the
know what I'm saying?
closest
Like, I
to
don't
you?
know. I mean, Colin Jost has been there, probably like 16 years. He just hasn't been on camera, I guess, as long because he was a writer for a long time. So I don't know as far as like who's right. I think Daryl is still right behind me at 14 years. So
Nice.
Wow.
yeah,
Do we have an actual date for when the new season starts?
October 3rd.
Who's going to be playing
He
Biden?
said it. That's a great question. That is a great
Sudeikis
question.
does
I don't know
it.
yet. It's been Sudeikis does a great one. Woody Harrelson did it a couple of times
Uh-huh.
last year. So I don't know exactly who's going to do it, but hopefully somebody great that'll continue to do it as long as we need them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully you got a spot for Larry David playing Bernie Sanders because that's always
Oh,
great. Dude.
is it not fucking uncanny?
so
That shit is
good.
uncanny.
Well, they're related.
It's
Did you
amazing.
see that?
How?
They're
It
like,
makes sense.
they did a genetic test, and somewhere down the line, Bernie Sanders and Larry David are related in some way.
They're the same person, the exact same person.
Dude, that's
He does that shit without even trying. It's really his voice, and he only does this motion. That's all. That's his whole impression.
That's great.
Dude, so killer, man. Well, fuck, man. I think we should let you go, man. I'm so glad that we got to talk to you, dude. What a treat, man.
Man, likewise, man. I really love you guys. I've always loved and respected, anybody that was able to carve out a lane super strong for themselves, just doing what they wanted with a bunch of buddies. You know what I mean? That's like one thing that I loved about Sandler. You know what I mean? He was always like working with his buddies and shit. So it just looks like a dream come true. I'm glad that you're still rolling and doing your thing and keeping
man.
shit going, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
all you
appreciate
guys
that. I
stay
appreciate
safe
that
and
so
healthy.
much. Yeah, so
Yeah,
hey,
for
best
sure.
of luck. Hopefully being back in the studio works out and there's no fucking bullshit. Hopefully you got people there to laugh at the jokes. And
Right.
continued success, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
My dear street team, meaning those of you who watch all the way through to the end of the podcast and then kindly help me promote the podcast by taking a screenshot from anywhere in it and posting it, tagging my guest, who was absolutely fantastic. I'd love for you guys to let Kenan know that you enjoyed the podcast. And as I said at the very beginning, we finally did launch an actual Wild Ride Clips channel, which we made. Unlike the schmuck who put up a Wild Ride Clips channel that I didn't make and has a bunch of videos on there that I am mortified anybody would think came from me. I don't even know if that's still up, but that guy really rubbed me the wrong way. Any case, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And get ready for next week. I can't even tell you what a banger that's going to be. All right. Yeah, dude.